Do it.
Oh, all right.
Try to bring some energy.
Friday vibes.
That's right.
Welcome to Coffee.
That was a long pause. It was like you were the rock.
Dramatic.
Welcome.
Can you smell
What Nathan is cooking.
Welcome, everyone, to Coffee.
Nice. Very dramatic pause.
Very nice to see you today. We are back one more time, by the grace of God,
Amen.
here one more day, and we have some very
Specialty guests.
special tea guests today
But what's your name?
with us. Oh, I'm Nathan. Hi. How are you?
And I'm Brad. And with
Brad and I
us-
are always here,
Yeah, usually.
unfortunately for you.
But we have
But today we've got some relievers coming in that will be better than us
Yeah.
because they have some very special tea information that Brad and I didn't experience this time.
No.
So as always, Brad and I are here, Baba Java Coffee, sponsoring CoffeeU, and our specialty guests are here.
Introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Abby Phillips. I'm the head barista and trainer here at Baba Java, so excited to be here.
Abby is very famous.
Famous, yes.
Everyone knows Abby.
Yeah.
If you've been at a Baba Java, you've seen her. She's been around since the beginning.
Since,
Right.
almost the very big first day.
Yeah.
She was our first non-barista. I mean,
Well, she is a barista.
she's a barista.
But she was our first leadership hire for sure.
Yeah.
So since October of 2018, right?
I know. Yep.
Wow. It's a long time.
And our other guest hasn't been here quite this long.
But it feels like forever.
Thanks, guys.
Christopher
Introduce
Tickell.
yourself.
Yeah, Christopher Tickell, managed the new Homewood store,
AKA Tickle.
a.k.a. maybe not.
Some people call him that.
Some people, some days, sometimes.
That's right. But he's been fantastic. Been a great hire running that Homewood store very well. So thank you, Christopher.
Been crushing it lately.
Yeah.
Good, man. We need it.
Yeah. A lot of pops being sold out of there. So head on over to Homewood and
Yeah.
Pops.
grab some.
And we have coffee there, too, if anybody
Yes, we
doesn't
do.
know. We have coffee. So come and get some coffee. We want the coffee to catch up to the pops there.
That's right. That's right.
So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so these two with two other people, Randy, who y'all have heard of, and Jason Doblestein, who's one of our other managers, went to Houston for Specialty Coffee Expo, which from here on out will be called World of Coffee, and then whatever city they're in. So, but you guys went last week, had a great time. It was a long drive. Feel bad for Abby. She was in the car with these three guys.
Yeah, right.
10 hours.
It was all right.
So talk about, so we're going to just go through a few things, topics about the event. And let's start with like some of the coolest things you saw maybe from equipment or even the way coffee's being prepared or even coffee itself. What was a couple of highlights from the show? Abby, why don't you go first?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is definitely the coffee robot that's making coffee.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Did you taste any?
I had an espresso shot from one of the. I forget the name of the actual machine.
And when
But
you
of
say
course,
robot,
that's
you mean it was like arms?
A true,
Just
robot arm.
arms?
Yeah, pulling shots, grinding shots, tamping.
Was it
brewing
using a
espresso.
traditional espresso machine?
Well, it
Wow.
was actually a La Marzocco mod bar.
Ah,
So,
but still,
which is
it was.
pretty, yeah.
it-
So
They didn't change the machine to fit the robot. It was using a.
yeah, no, it
That's
was
amazing.
Yeah, it was wild.
Don't
but
worry,
I still
Abby,
don't
you're-
think it's not taking my job.
I was
It's
about
not
to
going to
say
take our
your
jobs.
job's safe. We're not
Yeah.
using any robots
Yeah.
in our store, except maybe the poor steady. But
Maybe you need to learn to code, though.
Right.
That's your next
man, then I
continuing
might be sunk.
education. All right, so we got Coffee Robot. What else? Anything?
Yeah. Coffee Robot was really cool.
Sure.
I mean,
It's eye catcher.
one of them even mimicked like a barista as far as like hovering over the portafilter while it's pulling a shot.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right.
it was a little too much coating.
Yeah, a little bit. Like when the arms kind of like
Yeah, they kind of
twisting a little bit while it's waiting.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
It's pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
I would say for the most part, the coffee industry though has remained relatively the same. Tons of V60s, obviously. I think Fellow with their release 3 days prior kind of stole the show for a lot of people.
Yeah, Fellow released a new home espresso machine
Yeah,
like the week before the show.
yeah.
And it is a huge buzz around the industry right now. So,
Yeah.
just about any product they release gets a huge
Yeah,
buzz.
Yeah.
huge turnout.
No, that was definitely a highlight.
Yeah.
So, anyway, hopefully we'll be able to do some demo videos on espresso machines like that, Abby, for CoffeeU. So,
That'd be nice.
yeah. All right. Anything else? What about any exciting coffees that you tried that maybe were crazy? I know you probably tried a lot of coffee.
Yeah. Tried a ton of coffee. About 90% not dialed in.
Oh, no.
True.
Yeah, that was interesting when you
Really?
said that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
Well, the
interesting.
volume they're producing, I have to,
Yeah.
Give them a little
understand
bit
a
of
little
grace.
bit,
Yeah.
a little bit of grace. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was interesting how
And
there's
you
a
would
lot of
think
under
at the
extracted shops.
Specialty Coffee Expo that the majority of booths
Yeah.
would have their espresso dialed in.
There were
already.
still great coffees, and you could tell
Yeah.
the coffee itself was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
just the extraction was just a little off most of the
Interesting.
time.
It kind of made me want to go around with a grade sheet
Yeah,
and grade.
You should have.
kind of like an art show, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
It was good though. There was definitely some people that were pushing more of their product line and caring a little less about the coffee they were
see.
serving.
Yeah.
And there was more people, caring about the coffee they were serving and less about the machine they were brewing it
Yeah.
on. So it was a 50-50 split, I'd say. But,
Okay.
but yeah, it was definitely a lot.
So, what was kind of the buzz? I mean, you mentioned the Fellow espresso machine. A lot of people were talking about that. What
yeah.
other like major topics were people concerned with at the show?
Well, so they actually had like an outside juried exhibit
Okay.
before you went in to the exhibition hall, and it was all of the stuff that was nominated for best in show and that sort of
okay.
stuff. So Fellow was on that list.
Yeah.
They were outside of the exhibition, and there was a couple other. There was one very interesting home roaster. That seems to be a big thing. I probably saw 30 different booths that had their own model of home
Really?
roaster. Yeah. So I can definitely see, especially when you coincide it with all of the V60 companies out there, there's a lot going on in that kind of DIY market.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Well, that makes sense that with the price of coffee going up, people may be wanting to get more into
Yeah.
just buying the green directly, roasting it themselves, preparing it themselves. And overall, it would save you money in the end. So that's interesting.
They even had the roasting competition going on while we
they
were
did.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were using non-gas convection roasters. Pretty
Oh, really?
crazy. Yeah, pretty crazy to see.
That is crazy to see.
They were very big, very shiny. But
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to get into that corner, though, because there was probably 50,000 people in that room, and 40
Yeah.
of them were in that corner.
in that corner.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it was exciting.
All right. What else? What else were people kind of talking about?
There's also a lot of origami brewers too.
Oh, yeah.
Along with the V60.
Yeah, explain what that is, Abby.
So they were made of paper and they folded them up.
All elaborate designs and
Birds,
stuff.
elephants.
No, very similar to the V60, still the V-shape brewer, but the divots that go around. I don't know how to really describe it.
If you were to look at it straight on,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a star. I mean,
Yeah.
but it has. If you've ever seen one of the ridged filters, coffee filters that you put in a normal pot, it's like that.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice design.
Yeah, so a little bit compared to a V60, there's a little bit more airflow during extraction. Most of them are ceramic, so heat retention can be debatable which one's better between that and plastic.
But those were popular, huh?
Yeah, very popular. Very popular.
Interesting.
Hario released their leaf pedal style V60.
Oh, yeah, that was
Very interesting. It's completely porous. Basically, the surround of the filter is made out of individual pedals. So
Plastic, though.
Yeah, so air goes completely through it.
and it's just real pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Pretty crazy looking. Yeah. You can customize them, different color pedals and all that sort of stuff. Pretty nifty little idea.
We may have to try that out.
Not super expensive.
Okay.
They did say the quality of the coffee that comes through it was negligible. Basically, that hinges on the filter that you're using.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, I mean, it's cool to look at. That's
Yeah,
for
I'm sure.
So,
I'm
yeah.
sure. All right, so 4 of y'all went down. There had to be some funny things that happened during the week. So hit us with like a funny story or two.
I feel like Christopher's got a lot more funny stories than me. Where to begin?
I think
Where
one of them
again?
involves Randy.
Yeah, Randy.
Yeah, that's true.
Randy threw himself under the bus, really. It's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, talk about y'all getting lunch in, was it in Mississippi?
Laurel, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Laurel, Mississippi. I don't know how people from Mississippi pronounce that.
Laurel.
I'm pretty sure I say it wrong, though. Yeah, stopped at a meat and three. The rule of the trip was no chain restaurants.
It's a good rule.
Randy's rule, not mine. Long story short, we found out Randy was wrong ethnicity to eat certain types of food and not skinny enough to not eat enough. So he was basically, in the kindest way possible, let down twice in one restaurant visit because he did not fit in. And it definitely, the rest of the trip kind of fed off of that. So
Oh, is that
everywhere
right?
we went, it was just kind of the thing. So it was good. It was good to laugh with Randy. It was good to laugh at Randy.
Yeah,
Um,
good.
Basically, we just know Randy can't eat dark meat and he can't eat less than 4 chicken nuggets. So.
It's true.
Chicken strips, I think.
Strips, sorry,
Chicken
strips.
Tenders,
Yeah, yeah.
I will admit, I did eat his 4th chicken strip, so it was good. It was good. Met some cool people along the way too. We did go to a couple coffee shops while we were there.
Okay.
Coffee shop in Mississippi was called.
You're blanking.
Was it Parchment?
No, it was-
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Dadgummit.
Was
I
it
am
in
blanking.
Laurel?
Yeah, it's actually right next door
Right
to the
next
meat
to-
and three that we
Okay.
went to. Fantastic guys though that were in there. They roast in house, so they're cool
Okay.
guys. The guy that was there who owns it was just at the show prior to us the year prior. Was giving us the in and outs, you know, trying to get
nice.
us to get tattoos of coffee things. So he was a cool guy. Manuscript.
That's right.
Yep.
Manuscript coffee.
Shout out to you guys, Mississippi. Super cool. I think one of them, one of the guys might be coming up here to Birmingham. He's going to come visit. So
Oh, great.
yeah, they're not far. So and then a couple other coffee shops too when we were down there in Houston, over there, down there.
Over and down. That's both
Vessel
Fifth
was cool.
Vessel
Fifth
was-
Vessel.
yeah.
Yeah, super dope shop.
There's a party going down over there.
There was a party going down. Hard to get in for sure. The line
Yeah.
went out the door. There was a party. There was a run group.
There's a
like Sunday.
DJ.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
nonsense. But it was really cool.
Yeah.
Very neat.
The Rivian truck out front, though. with
Yeah,
Ordinary
tell us about
Coffee.
that. There were some really cool pictures of that.
Yeah. I wish we
So it
could.
takes like the mobile coffee cart to the next level.
Oh my gosh, it had everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that outfitted?
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what is normally in these cubbies that a Rivian
Yeah.
has that is open, right? But like the side drawer that comes out of the side of the bed, so not back of the bed, but side of the
Yeah.
bed was like their dish rack.
Okay.
So had their pour over, had their plates, cups,
yeah.
everything just pulled out of the side of the truck.
I mean,
Uh,
a grinder, 2 kettles,
yeah.
you know, and then he had 3 pour overs going.
Yep.
He was using an origami as
Yeah.
well.
Wow.
And then on the back of the truck, back of the bed of the truck, he had a full espresso
Bar.
bar
Espresso
set up.
bar.
Wow.
All being powered off the truck.
Yeah.
From the truck.
Yeah. Plus, they had nitro going too.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Nitro.
Plus, they're Australian, so it was just like
Yeah.
That
it
was
was
just-
a party.
That ups the cool level.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, basically, you're not wrong.
But it was a good coffee. That's the question.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can have all the
Very
cool
good
equipment, but
Actually, the Australian guy that was driving the truck was there with the Yeti team the 2 days prior, and they were serving the Panama Geisha that won Coffee of the Year last year,
oh,
and it was mind blowing.
I think that coffee went for several $100s a pound, if I'm not mistaken.
I could tell. I mean, we just got little shots of it, and it was
I
fantastic.
think it was several
coffee.
$100s a pound.
Well, they were giving it away like it was candy, so
I'm a little disappointed though. I didn't get to try.
Oh, sorry.
it was
So-
it was scrumptious.
There won't be any tried here.
No. No.
That-
Unless, our customers are like, we'll buy all of it. That's being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there will be no samples given.
No,
away.
no samples.
Yeah.
Definitely
Zero
no
sample.
samples.
You just have to imagine
Definitely
it.
no samples.
Imagine it.
Just pretend.
Also, those little air puff things, the puffers, they were everywhere.
Yeah, what's
so,
that?
it's just a fragrance puffer. It's kind of like you used to see in fragrance shops, you know, except you just grind beans, put it in the base, and that's how you figure out.
It helps with like sensory and
Yeah, exactly.
learning
You know, because sometimes
fragrance.
those bags just don't
Yeah.
do the job. We thought that'd probably be something cool to bring on
That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
just to complement the coffee of the month. You know, just have it out front so everybody can get a
good
little
idea.
whiff of what we're brewing. So I don't know, they were really cool. I was surprised to see them so popular. There was a
Yeah.
lot of places with them.
Okay.
I don't know. But then again, a lot of the classes also coincided. There was a lot of classes that pertain to aroma and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And then also the floor kind of reflected that. So
I got you.
it was pretty cool.
All right. So, what are your overall impressions of the event? Abby, you had been to a trade show before, not SCA, I don't think, right? Just a coffee fest. So you'd been to a trade show. Christopher, your first time to a coffee one, at least. I know you've been to arcade trade shows.
Yeah, yeah.
But overall impressions, what do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, it's so cool to be in a room with thousands of people from just coffee enthusiasts to roasters, producers, coffee professionals. Just to like pick people's brains and just hear what's going on and just how they're driving the industry forward and just the growth and the innovation. It's real fantastic and how it can feel like such a small world, especially coffee industry. But
Yeah,
then
it can
when you
be.
go to something like that, you're like, whoa, this is just the grand scale of it. It's just, it's kind of, you know, it's just real amazing. So
Cool.
yeah, that's definitely broad, but that's a big takeaway. for
Yeah,
me.
no,
It's
that's
just-
good. Christopher?
Yeah, a bit overwhelming. It
lot
was
of people.
in a good way, though, I guess. It was a lot of people. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool to see the variety. Sometimes in the coffee world, you only know what's in your environment, and for me, I knew there was 3-4 top espresso bar machines. There was probably 3 or 4 per aisle
Yeah.
at the expo. I mean, there was so many. So it's cool to see how many different people have their hand in the pot. So
Yeah.
but
That's the thing I've always, every trade show I've been to, the amount of equipment
yeah,
that's on display, and can be overwhelming for
Yeah.
sure. Because everybody, I mean, ultimately, an espresso machine does the same thing no matter who
Yeah.
makes it.
Right.
It's pressurized hot water pushing through
yep,
packed grinds. I mean, some do it better than others, but
yeah.
you know, it's pretty wild. So
There was one. What was the hydraulic press one we saw? There was one that was
the
just
flare.
The flare. Yeah, that was.
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's
yeah, the flare's a nice one.
I mean,
it's
it's-
like old school manual.
Yeah, it's cool. Like you have a pressure gauge, but you're
Yeah.
relying on you
Uh-huh.
to create the pressure, not the machine. So it's pretty interesting. The shot that came out of it wasn't terrible either.
Okay,
But
very cool.
I think it was one of the coffees was that we got from the flare was roasted by I think one of the roaster champions a
Oh,
few years
really?
ago. I can't remember. It was so loud and
But it
stuff.
was really
so
good though.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Nice.
Sure.
All right. Any other thoughts, Nathan? Questions?
Was it worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I would say compared to other expos, the goal of the people at this expo is not the same as ones I've been to. I would say these types of expos are not where you go to establish contacts as much as work on the contacts you already have. Some of the booths were a little standoffish to new people. I mean, they would give you your little bit of information and then carry on. But they were there for the people that they already had contacts with, and they were there to really nail those down. So some of the booths you had to work and be very diligent to really get your foot in there. And I guess you could say this is they seem to have been inundated with a lot of just passerbyers. So in order for them to take you serious, you really had to press, like really ask about their product, because there's a lot of people that were kind of there just to get the freebies, you know. And we were not there for that. So sometimes we had to stand there and ask questions, and then when they turned and walked away, you had to ask more questions. You just had to keep pressing. Sometimes because you didn't want necessarily their samples or their takeaways, you wanted to help them and you wanted to help your own company. So I think that was kind of the big thing for me, was that it was a little bit more work to really. It was almost like reverse sales. You had to sell yourself to them to get their business. So
Interesting.
it was which was fun. My old sales side was like was on par, but it was really good overall. Yeah.
Okay.
So, as a company, as people, if we're staying the same, we're falling behind. All right, we got to constantly be getting better. We kind of constantly be moving forward. How are you better? By going to this Specialty Coffee Expo, soon to be World of Coffee.
I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm still soaking it all in. But I think just seeing all the innovations and, you know, the tools that we use in the cafe now, from, you know, the WDT distribution tools to the grinders we use, just seeing the newer models of those things and different makes and stuff. So just taking all that information back here and wanting to upgrade to just use it better, you know, better understanding how they operate and stuff like that. So that's definitely one thing. And then just, yeah, everyone we got to meet, just feel like you just kind of grow in your overall love for just the industry and the product. So.
And the community of specialty coffee.
Absolutely.
It helps you grow in your job too. So.
Tickell?
Yeah, what she said was great. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't kind of sometimes I think when you get pulled into a coffee shop, in my experience, I was not in specialty coffee, and then I was in specialty coffee, but it was in the scope of Baba Java. So I did not know what was outside of it. And seeing just how big the industry is and how serious other people take it definitely makes you come home and bring some of that, like, I want to be better than that.
That's good.
Like sometimes I see some of these companies, we had 20 hours in the car, so we had lots to talk about. But, but a lot of it was just coffee companies that started off specialty and are now mediocre at best. And some that were mass produced. Bun, for example, huge company. You knew them because they made the indestructible pots in the 90s. And you can get them at Kmart. And it was cool.
Kmart.
Yeah. Sorry. And it was
For the young folks.
Super K. Sorry.
That's right.
And it was cool to see them there because their rebranding is well done. When you go to the Bun booth, they don't look like Bun was. They look like they make specialty equipment. So it was cool to see that. And it just made me want to come back and make sure that my team is not going the easy route of making easy shots and pouring easy drinks, but just aiming higher than, I guess you could say, mediocre. So
That's good.
For companies, it's easy to become mediocre as you grow.
Yeah.
It is.
It's that balance between entrepreneurship and growth. So when you first start out, you got all the right ideas. You're idealistic. You're excited. You have the energy. You impart those ideals to everything you do, and then as you grow, it kind of gets diluted.
Yeah.
It can, yeah.
And so it makes everything less than what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the key, is how you still have those same ideals and same excitement and same work ethic, and instilling that in other people instead of just, a small group. As you grow, how can you get everybody on board to have those same ideals?
Yeah.
And so that a lot of companies that grow too fast, it's impossible to do that. Okay, so that's one of the main things we gotta. That's why we didn't want to grow too fast at first anyway, and we're just so reluctant to do that because we want everybody to be on board with the same ideals and the same principles.
Exactly.
What was that? There was a fantastic story about that in a specific book we had to read. Something about a hedgehog. There was a gentleman that was appointed CEO of a certain company, and instead of carrying the same vision, he just idolized the founder before him, and he just kind of tanked the company because he didn't have the same vision, and he diluted the company essentially. So, yeah, it's good to bring people in who are both good at their jobs and also excited about specialty coffee.
Exactly.
Right.
One last question, kind of a fun one. What was I guess the robot would be a weird, strange thing you saw. Any other weird or strange coffee contraptions, or
Even weird, strange
contraption.
people.
or even weird, strange people outside of
was a coffee
outside of
convention,
Randy? Anybody weird or strange?
It was a coffee convention, so
Yeah.
Got all kinds of characters.
all kinds of weird, strange things. So you saw the robot, which was kind of weird.
yeah.
Anything else?
Weird alternative milks. That's a fashion statement nowadays.
Yeah,
Also, mushroom coffee. No hate.
I think there should be some hate on mushrooms. I mean, I love mushrooms, but I don't want to drink mushrooms.
I don't understand a specialty coffee expo.
Yeah, that's
a
weird.
booth with anti-coffee.
Yeah,
Right.
Anti-coffee.
and the
what
fact
it
that they
is.
allowed them to be there, I guess.
Yeah,
weird part.
that is strange.
Seems
It's
weird.
There was a couple of
SCA.
them.
But I guess it's like nobody's going to buy this anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll take the money. Hey, they'll take your money.
But they were parked next to the matcha teas, so
So similar.
Another non-coffee.
Sorry, all you
Well,
matcha drinkers.
Yeah. We love you sometimes.
Yes.
We'll take your money too. It's
Yeah.
fine.
But yeah, I think the plant-based milks and stuff.
Was there any interesting ones? I mean,
Well, Eclipse
Yeah.
had the chickpea milk.
chickpea milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was
How was it?
was not bad at all.
Really?
Hummus.
and
When
they
call
were
it hummus milk.
Yeah, hummus
Yeah.
milk.
I mean,
it was pretty
basically.
neutral, so they kind of advertised it as the non-dairy whole milk,
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
and it's steamed.
Well,
So
you
they
steamed it.
they were kind enough to let me
That's
go back
nice,
there
yeah.
and steam it and pour it up. So
Did it have nice gloss to it when you
it
poured
did. It really did.
Interesting.
You know, when you use a steam one that you're not used to, you're always
Yeah.
like, "Ooh."
Yeah. Right.
But no, it seemed fantastic. So I was able to. They split the shot, so I poured 2 drinks. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would have loved. I didn't get a chance to taste it just by itself. I had it just cold,
Yeah.
like
It was
without
good.
coffee.
Yeah.
But with the espresso, it was
Really nice.
not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I'm not one to drink milk by itself, regardless of the type of milk it is. But it was good. They gave it to us straight, and it was milk. That being said, I think it was better than some alternatives that you
For
get
sure.
Okay.
that are more popular,
Yeah.
I should say. But the way it's steamed, though, was kind of like, oh, okay,
Interesting.
tastes pretty good, and you can steam
And
it.
it gets good texture. Yes.
So even with a warm chocolate chip cookie right out of the oven, you don't drink a glass of milk together?
Yeah. Come on.
It has to be a Oreo.
That's
Oh,
it.
well, Oreo, and then you can dunk it.
Yeah, it has to be an Oreo. That's
That's
about
the
it.
only thing you drink milk with.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's interesting.
You can't have warm. Have you ever had warm Oreos? I wonder, can you
bet that's
warm them
amazing.
up?
Yes.
I've had a fried Oreo that was warm.
We
I have had
So
a fried
good.
Oreo too. Yeah.
It is race tradition to have fried bacon wrapped Oreos.
Get outta
Bacon
here.
wrapped.
Nice.
Is it your race tradition?
But you can't. You can't dunk bacon wrapped Oreos.
No, you can barely eat them. So they're rough. They're really just to get calories in.
That's
your
right.
body.
You just
So
It's funny.
how many different things
well,
can I
you
fit?
heard it here first. Bacon wrapped Oreos coming to Homewood soon.
Hopefully not. Yikes.
Well, thank y'all for joining us so much. we'll probably have you on again doing something. You'll see Abby again a lot, I'm sure. So we'll have Christopher on again at some point. Get his do his employee interview for the podcast.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I work here
That's right. That's right.
part-time sometimes.
Thanks for joining us. Nathan, thanks for being here. again.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate y'all.
Abby and Christopher.
Glad you got to go.
It was good.
And we're so happy that you joined us today. Please join us again next time on CoffeeU.
Have a good day. This week in coffee news is very controversial. So the week leading up to Specialty Coffee Expo in Houston, the SCA and the CQI, which is the Coffee Quality Institute, announced a partnership that would actually give all the Q grading certifications to Specialty Coffee Association, which means the Coffee Quality Institute, as of October 1, will no longer be giving certifications for Q graders. If you have listened to our previous podcast with Ruben, you know what a Q grader is, but essentially it's like a sommelier, someone who can grade coffees based on their taste. And so it's very controversial. There's a lot of people who hate the idea and a lot of people who like the idea. There's not much in the middle as of right now, since it was just announced last week. So we'll be giving you more news about that in the coming weeks and months as we learn things about it. But that is what's new this week in coffee. And for what's new in Baba Java, I'm going to turn it over to Abby Phillips for the Baba Beat.
Yeah, what's new? I mean, obviously, we have gone to me, Christopher, Jason, and Randy went to the Specialty Coffee Expo in Houston, which was really fun. But in cafes, gosh, we've been losing. You know, the turnover rate in the coffee industry can be high.
It can be.
But so we've been losing a lot of team members, but also gaining a lot. So training has been ramped up since I'm the trainer. It's been a lot of fun having the new faces in the cafes, and it's been pushing me to be able to, just keep, adapting to my training program and delegating and just working with the assistant managers and obviously the new team members. So seasonal menus have been coming out, spring menu, summer menus coming out.
Summer menu will be coming out soon. That's right.
So
the next couple months. So
yeah,
be on the lookout for it.
yeah.
So our team is growing. Mm-hmm. Abby's doing a lot of training, and we're very happy about it. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on CoffeeU.